Morgan Blackhand.
Where is he?
Where is he?
I'm not going to tell you. The best I can say is imagine if the Batman traveled a lot. He left Gotham City every so often to deal. Morgan will surface. He is alive. Most people don't know is that when the building blew, Morgan used part of Smasher's body as a shield to get down to the ground floors. Adam was basically the surfboard ride to the bottom of the Arasaka Towers for Morgan Blackhand. Morgan is out and about. It's not just Morgan, that's all I'll tell you. I have about 10 years that Morgan's doing some fairly important stuff. Morgan has been in Night City, but you wouldn't find him and notice. Me and CD. And we have a deal, which is they don't get to do something with Morgan until, I agree to it. And so right now what's going on is I am building backstory into Red of what Morgan did to get up to 77. You're going to see him in a couple other places that aren't necessarily Night City, because we're talking about expanding the world a bit. Everybody would want to see Morgan. What I wanted to do is when he came back, have people go, oh, damn, he's doing that? That's why you don't see him yet.
Someone said you do not physically see Morgan Blackhand in the game, but they theorize that Mr. Blue Eyes.
Nope, not Morgan. Nope. Okay, you gotta understand how Morgan works. Morgan got out of the war and said, well, I got paid, but this was stupid. Morgan figured out a long time ago, yeah, you don't want to be James Bond. Everybody knows James Bond. And if your job is to kill people, you don't want them to go, oh my God, you're here to kill me. Morgan is still alive because Morgan years ago made sure that he was not memorable, didn't stand out all that much. Nobody really would know what he looks like, right? He actually looks kind of like George Clooney, but George Clooney is a pretty good looking, but average guy. He's not too ugly, not too good looking. As people like to say, Morgan Blackhand looks like an accountant. That's a slogan at Cal. And he's going to be great when we start the movie. But Morgan would be typically, you get into an elevator in a corporate building somewhere, and there's a guy who looks like he's had a bunch of papers and dropped his briefcase, and it opened up, and you would not think other than, wow, what a goofball, as he pulled out a silenced pistol and shot you in the back 4 times. And then he'd go, oh, sorry. And he'd be like, holding you up. You'd go, oh, that's my floor now. And you'd be dying. And everybody else in the elevator would go, what happened? Hey, take care of him. I think he just had a heart attack. Morgan's out the door. That's Morgan. Morgan's job, as he said, I end up getting hired to kill people because I'm good at it, but I prefer to choose who I'm going to kill.
When they showed Johnny's memories, those memories are not real.
No, Johnny's memories are kind of messed with, and they're redacted. Also, Johnny has a tendency to see himself as the star of the movie, so he's not going to make himself look bad, right? He makes the run at Smasher, and Smasher just cuts him down. But Johnny is not going to see it that way. Johnny is great, and he used to be military, but he's not Morgan.